You're watching France24. It's time now for our daily look at the international papers. Nadia Sharbi joins me in the studio. Good morning, Nadia.
Good morning.
Let's start here in France. And children's charity workers say they were just trying to save lives, but currently they find themselves accused of kidnapping by authorities in Chad.
Absolutely. The French Le Figaro newspaper says that France has chosen to give its support to Chad's government. Its headlines: Sarkozy condemns the operation. The French ambassador, Bruno Fouché, has called the operation an illegal manipulation, while Zoe Zark still says that the French authorities knew about this operation and hadn't prohibited their action. The French authorities flatly refuse any association with the charity, which changed its name to Children Rescue after its arrival in Chad. So the Figaro talks of a strategy of concealment. We also have La Croix, who talks of helping children at what cost, it asks. The paper takes a look at how NGOs are reacting to this story and looks back at similar affairs that took place in 1992 during the war in Yugoslavia or in Rwanda. NGO representatives tell the paper there's real trauma for these saved children who feel guilty about having left their families behind. And the paper also gives the other side of the story, talks to a man who was flown out of Bangladesh as a child and placed in a French family.
The British papers have picked up on the story too, though, as well. What is their take a bit different?
Well, it's getting a lot of coverage abroad. The Guardian has one of the children in an orphanage of Abéché in Chad on its cover. Chad accuses French charity of child trafficking. Adoption scandal grows is the headline. It calls it a bizarre attempt at humanitarianism. The Guardian talked to the head of a charter airline company who was supposed to bring the children to France. He told the Guardian the company had received a permit from the Chad government authorising the evacuation for health reasons. The Guardian also mentions that Zoe Zark has said that the plan had the backing of Nicolas Sarkozy's estranged wife, Cecilia.
Goodness me. Well, talking of flights not taking off, Air France strike, what do the papers make of that?
Libération has an article on this one. Union Concord at Air France is its headline. The key word for Libération is timid. A timid junior minister for transport, Dominique Bussereau, who went to talk to stranded holidaymakers in Orly Airport, and a timid negotiation, according to the unions, who've refused to deal with the deal that was offered by Air France. Air France, says Libération, is finding it very hard to deal with all the backlog of travellers, and this will cost a lot to the air company.
Just to wrap up, Nadia, talking about children being rescued, Pakistan's Daily Times, I believe, is talking about children who work for Gap.
Absolutely. The news came out yesterday in The Observer, and Pakistan's Daily Times has an article titled "Indian Children Found Making Clothes for Gap." The paper reminds its readers that Delhi is recognised by the UN as the world's capital for child labour, with 20% of India's economy dependent on children, according to one estimate. The Daily talked to a Delhi-based rehabilitation centre and school for rescued child workers, the founder of one of these schools. He says consumers in the West should not only be demanding answers from retailers as to how goods are produced, but looking deep within themselves as to how they spend their money.
Indeed. So pretty much everybody has a Gap T-shirt somewhere in their wardrobe. Perhaps we should think again about that. Many thanks to Nadia Sharbi for that review of the French papers and beyond. Keep watching France24. Thank you, Nadia.